What's up, sports fans? What's up, world? This is MC Ryan with his co-host.
It's Kenneth.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. We are the sports podcast that enjoys champions. And speaking of enjoying champions, we definitely got to give a shout out to the new NCAA basketball champions on the women's and the men's side. That is the South Carolina Gamecocks for the women and the UConn Huskies for the men, because apparently the UConn Huskies got that drink in them because they going back to back. They going back to back. Woo! So, KJ, how do you feel? Let's first talk about the men's side. How do you feel about UConn once again being national champions?
Man, I mean, well, first I want to go ahead and for UConn, man, them being national champions again and then back to back, like we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to start considering UConn a blue blood. And they are blue. You got UCLA, you got UNC, you got Duke, you got Kentucky, you got, who else is a blue blood? Kansas. All of them have multiple titles. And in the 21st century, UConn has at least three that I know about for sure. So they're looking like a perennial basketball program again. Like, you know, they've always been a basketball program. They've always done their thing. But now it's kind of like they're solidifying themselves as one of the best basketball programs in program history, in NCAA history. And I'm cool with that because I rock with UConn. Especially after surviving a 37-10 double-double from Edey. Like, man, 37-10. He just dropped 40 the game before. Like, what is this man is playing out of his mind?
He really is.
Probably because he's bigger than everybody else. I don't know about athleticism, but probably because he's bigger than everybody else.
That man is like 7'2", 7'3", like just, and like the tallest, like what, big man in college basketball is like what, like 6'10", maybe
like 6'10", right?
So yeah, I mean, first of all, I think UConn has always been a blue blood. I mean, I know definitely on the women's side, but even on the men's side, like think of all the great players. Like I believe, like, you know, Ray Allen, Richard Hamilton, who else?
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. You know, they've had
Jeremy Lamb.
Jeremy Lamb. And like they've won. Shabazz Napier won a national.
Yeah, so that's four.
So
that's four in the last in this century.
So like I think UConn's kind of been a little bit of a blue blood. I mean, if not at least after that championship they won with Shabazz Napier, I believe we should have called them that, because I mean they have six national championships, and I think isn't that as many? Sorry. Isn't that as many championships as we have? You know, North Carolina?
Yeah, we got 6.
So, if UNC, we're considered the blue
one more than Duke.
Huh?
One more than Duke.
So, if we're considered a blue blood, and Duke, we just had 5 championships considered a blue blood, then UConn is definitely 100% a blue blood. So now we've got, you know, along with Kansas, UCLA, who else? Kentucky. So those are all the blue-blooded programs. Speaking of Kentucky, guess what? I didn't know John Calipari actually
stepped down.
Actually left them. I know this is not a topic we were originally going to talk about, but let's go ahead and talk about it. You know, surprise topic. So how do you, really quick before we talk about the women, the South Carolina women, how do you feel about John Calipari actually leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas?
To go to Arkansas, I don't know why he would do that, but I mean, he himself said like he's been there for like 20 plus years. Like it's about time for them to hear a different voice. Like they're getting to the point where it's like, okay, your usual formula, because we know Calipari is being the one and done king. So like his usual formula,
Yep.
one and done in Kentucky, has it been what it was supposed to be the last 6 years? So I'm not tripping that he's leaving for real, but to go to Arkansas, okay, I guess.
Yeah, that was honestly that. Yeah. I'm sorry. You continue.
No, I was good. Maybe he don't. Maybe he doesn't want to leave the SEC. I don't know what that is, but I would have picked a different school over to Arkansas. Good luck to that man.
What? There's no. I don't know. You think like he should have gone to like a bigger school, like I don't know. He's not going to go to like a UNC or a Duke, like those. He's not going to go to a Kansas. Bill Self pretty much got that job on like so.
He could go to UCLA. Who the coach at UCLA?
Yeah, I don't.
Right, he could coach them. Can't coach this.
I mean, he might be
because the Zags are perennial. I think they're cool.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Gonzaga is like, I understand they're quote unquote a mid-major, but they're a blue blood in my opinion.
They're scary. That's a scary mid-major right there. Man.
No, they're not a mid-major. To me, Gonzaga is a blue blood because how Mark Few has always produced like great teams out of Gonzaga. Like it has been constant, and like they've at least been able to like make some noise, a little bit of noise in the NCAA tournament. I think that I forgot. I know they won they won the championship. I think was it what I know with Jalen Suggs, was it 2020 or 2021? I think it was 2021.
Okay, we can go.
I think it was because I think 2020. That's when the NCAA tournament was actually canceled, and that year after, I think that's when the Zags won it. But I would even consider them, even though I don't think they have as many championships as like a UConn or even a Duke. However, how they've always been constantly competitive, how they always have like that great player. Like I mentioned, like a guy like Jalen Suggs. Think about also a guy like Chet Holmgren. Who else? He just came out. Man, I can't believe I forgot. My brain just forgot him. I can't believe it. But they've had some great players coming out of Gonzaga as well. So I don't know. I think even Gonzaga you can call it a blue blood. But going back to talking about what's his name going to Arkansas? John Calipari going to Arkansas. Yeah, honestly, it was a shocking move to me. Like I thought John Calipari was gonna stay in Kentucky until he retired. That's what I thought. But like you said, it was probably time. He's been in there. He's been there since John Wall. Like that's how long he's been there. Since John Wall was coming out of high school and he recruited him, and John Wall is basically retired from the NBA. Crazy. I was in high school. I was in high school when John Calipari went to the Kentucky, and now I'm a grown. Oh, yeah, it was time. It's time. It was time for him to go. Yeah, it's like I said, time for them to get a new voice. But let's talk about the other NCAA champion on the women's side, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Going undefeated. Excuse me. And beating Caitlin Clark, the best player in women's college basketball in the Iowa Hawkeyes. Actually didn't realize this. Last year the Iowa Hawkeyes actually beat South Carolina in the Final Four, and South Carolina was undefeated. Caitlin Clark and them beating. So I guess this was the year of revenge in women's college hoops because LSU beat Iowa last year, but then now Iowa beat them this year, and then Iowa beat South Carolina last year, but now South Carolina says no, get my revenge.
Not so fast.
But yeah. So how did you feel about this game, man?
First and foremost, shout out to the home team, South Carolina. We love the Cats. I think I'm the only person in the Carolinas who call it the Cac. Y'all know it's the Kakalakis, but I'm not going to say all them syllables. It's the Cac. So yeah, shout out to them, man. For first of all, not only winning the championship, everything like that. Shout out to black head coaches out there. But also withstanding a 30-point barrage from Caitlin Clark. Shout out to y'all, because that girl been averaging 30 points the whole season. So I guess y'all held her to a modest game, but it was one versus many, and most of the time that many is going to win. So I'm happy. I'm kind of happy that Clayton Clark didn't win, because she beat Angel Reese. So shout out to South Carolina. Y'all will never hear me say those words again. I promise.
I mean, this, like you said, was one versus many. Who was like, because Caitlin Clark in the first quarter, I think they said she scored like 14 points in the first quarter. I think it was, and then I forgot who they put on her. I forgot who was the person guarding her for South Carolina for the rest of the game, but she made Caitlin Clark work for those 30 points. Like, and that's what you want to do, and like that's what you want to do. Because Iowa did not have, yes, Caitlin Clark is the best player by far in women's college hoops. All right, by far. But South Carolina was like, listen, she's the only thing that can actually beat us. So what do you do? What do you do when in basketball, when you know that, hey, only this person can beat us? It's the same thing of the Rockets' James Harden when he did not have Chris Paul. James Harden is the only person that can beat us. So what we're going to do, James Harden, we're going to make you, okay, you're going to score your 30 points, but you're going to become a volume shooter. And that's what they made Caitlin Clark. They turned her into a volume shooter where she had to shoot a lot of basketballs to score those 30 points. So that way, that 30-point barrage didn't sting as much. Yeah, she still scored 30, but she had to put up a lot of baskets to get that 30, and that's what you want to do. Same, like I said, the Rockets, James Harden. That's how you're gonna beat him. All right, James Harden, we're gonna make you shoot like 30 times to get these 35 points. You will not do it in 15 shots. So that was the main thing. So yeah, shout out to Dawn Staley, because she won this championship with like basically a brand new starting five and went undefeated. And a lot of people feel like South Carolina is not getting that sort of hype that, or that sort of celebration that I was like, because even when South Carolina won, people were like, hey, people are still mentioning things about Iowa this, Iowa that, Caitlin Clark this. People want to bring race into it. Now that I'm really thinking about it, what star player does South Carolina really have? Like superstar player? Like at least USC has like a Juju Watkins where you can point to. But does South Carolina have that? They don't. It's kind of like we're all a team. We're a great team. We play team basketball. And so since honestly the star is their coach.
Yeah, really.
But the thing is, the sponsors and everybody else can't really sell that. It's a coach. They wanted to be like a player. And there's no really one player for South Carolina you can single out to say, hey, this is the star. This is a superstar. Iowa does. Just being honest. But yes. But still, shout out definitely to that South Carolina, man. They undefeated. Like that's a hell of a coaching job right there. With an all new, basically all new starting five.
Yeah.
Like you had to recruit like these freshmen just coming in.
Right.
And just think about it, they're gonna get better.
Right.
Like a lot of
going nowhere.
Yeah, so these like they won it with a lot of freshmen. And a lot of people coming off the benches like, oh yeah. Main point. I think South Carolina in this game scored 37 bench points to 0 for Iowa.
Dang.
37.
Nothing?
Yeah, they didn't score a single. Their bench did not score a single point in the game.
A donut. That's unheard of. That's unacceptable, actually. What? That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, great job, South Carolina and UConn. As the South Carolina is I think it's a blue-blooded women's college basketball. Like the way they're going, they definitely are. But let's get into some football talk, though, KJ, and specifically, let's get into some NFL draft talk. All right, we're recording this podcast on Thursday, April 11th. We are exactly 2 weeks out from the NFL draft, and you just last week we did remock our 1 through 10, and now we're about to mock draft our 11 through 20 picks. All right, KJ, we're gonna start this up with you. So, what is your mock draft 11 through 20? Let's go.
All right, let's get it. So, the end of the first 10 was the Jets picking Brock Bowers. This time, now for number 11, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Currently on offense, the Minnesota Vikings have Jettis coming back from injury. You have Addison in his second year after his stellar. I think he had 1,000 yards last year as a rookie. And you have Hawkinson still. And then, Aaron Jones, I guess, ain't terrible. But you have all of these offensive pieces and nobody to throw it to. Sam Darnold? I don't think you're going to go Sam Darnold for the rest of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and give him my boy, my favorite quarterback in the draft. This is my favorite quarterback in the NFL. Sorry, Lamar Jackson. J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to go ahead and give Minnesota J.J. McCarthy. And he's going to sit behind Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold probably going to play like 6 games, maybe. No, honestly, I think Sam Darnold might play this whole year.
4.
I think J.J. McCarthy is a phenomenal quarterback. I do think he's a very sound, tool-having quarterback. If y'all know what I mean, like he can make every throw. He's patient. He's calm. But I don't think he's gonna light it up this year. Definitely not. So he's gonna need to sit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give them J.J. McCarthy. Denver, same situation. They need a quarterback. They don't really have much. Let them tell it. They have a whole lot, so I'm going to have to see it from them because I didn't really pay attention to Denver last year. But they don't have too much to me. But I know they have Sean, I almost call him Sean McVay, Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
They have Sean Payton, and Sean Payton likes experienced quarterbacks, so why not give him the most experienced quarterback in college football coming out of the draft in Bo Nix? Bo Nixon played like 62 games. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give them Bo Nix. I don't really know what his ceiling is, but his floor is pretty high. I think his floor and his ceiling might be on the same level, but we're going to have to see. Next, at pick 13, you have Vegas. The Vegas Raiders. Give them Michael Penix. They need a quarterback. Give them Michael Penix. They need. They need a lot more than Michael Penix, but they need a quarterback for the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them another quarterback. New Orleans, I feel as though is one of them teams that y'all middling out. I think they might be trying to rebuild, restructure, retool. I understand that they have Chris Olave and Kamara still, but y'all need help. So go ahead and start with the trenches. I'm gonna go ahead and give them J.C. Latham, the offensive tackle from Alabama. Indianapolis. I feel like in this 10, there's a lot of offensive tackles that can be had. Indianapolis already has a good tackle. They have a quarterback that they're interested in. They can't get Brock Bowers. So I'm going to go ahead and they already have a good offensive line. So I'm going to go ahead and give them some defensive help. If I can get that out properly. And I'm going to give them Latu, the edge out of UCLA. Seattle, good on offensive line. They ain't really no quarterbacks that they want to reach for, so I'm going to go ahead and give them some defensive help since the quarterbacks are really solid for them. I'm going to give them Byron Murphy, defensive tackle out of Texas. Help with that pass rush they so desperately need. Then at Jacksonville, I think they need a lot of help on that defense, and they need cornerback help. So I'm going to go ahead and give them Terrion Arnold, Alabama's best cornerback. So you know that's a flop. I do not care if Randy Moss was in this draft. Cincinnati Bengals, y'all need to build y'all offensive line. Y'all need to help y'all quarterback out. So I'm going to give y'all Talisi Fuaga, Oregon, left tackle. This is where I'm like, I really don't know where I'm going to go with this, because you have the Rams who kind of seem to have enough, but they could use everything, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they're pretty content with their offense right now. I think they might need some offensive line help because they haven't helped their offensive line in decades. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them Fashanu, yo guy. Go ahead and help shore up for Matt Staff right quick. And then Pittsburgh. Ugh, that just sounds terrible out my mouth.
Patrick Queen. He's on there. He's not.
Patricia Princess.
He's the op. I understand.
He's the op. Pittsburgh just came off of Deontay Johnson. They could use some offensive line help, and they could use a cornerback. So you could go with Amaris Mims out of Alabama. You could go with Brian Thomas Jr., another wide receiver out of LSU. You could go Nate Wiggins. You could go Cooper DeJean. Selfishly, I'm gonna give them Cooper DeJean. I'm gonna tell you why I did that selfishly this year. I mean this week, but I'm gonna go ahead and give them Cooper DeJean because secondary help. They need fluidity amongst that secondary, whether it's the cornerbacks or the safeties. They need some help. It can't just be Mika Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And that concludes my top 10.
Well, 11, not top 10. We are 11 through 20.
My 11 through 20. Facts. Top 10 part 2.
My rough draft. My mock draft goes like this. 11, I agree with you. I think you got Vikings are in the market for a young quarterback, and why not give them you've got Justin Jefferson, for a lot of people's minds, is the best wide receiver in football. Opposite him, you have the rookie they just picked. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. Just like
Addison?
that. Yes. They got Addison on the other side. got to give him a strong arm or a nice little strong arm quarterback, well, kind of strong arm quarterback to throw the ball. Nice young quarterback. So I'm gonna give him Michael Penix Jr.
I knew you was going there. I knew you.
Michael Penix. Yeah, originally I had him going to Atlanta at 8, but now that Atlanta got Kirk Cousins, they're not going to draft a quarterback. So I'm going to give them Michael Penix Jr. Just though there's a small part of me that wants him to go to Seattle because like just imagine that. But 12. I agree with you, KJ. I got the Broncos drafting Bo Nix, and that's because John Elway loves his tall, 6'5", strong arm quarterbacks. They got to be 6'5", 6'6", can move, they got a strong arm. So, Bo Nix checks all those boxes. So, yes, 13, I do agree the Raiders need a quarterback. However, I'm not a huge believer in J.J. McCarthy as you are. Not a huge one. Really, I think he's better served as a second round quarterback. Now, if he drops if he drops to the third round, you'll be getting a steal, in my opinion. Like, if he drops down to like the third or fourth round, you'll be getting a complete steal. But like, if you get him
I only have him in the first round. I agree he's a second round pick, but I only think that he's gonna be in the first round because obviously people gonna reach for a quarterback. There's like a bunch of quarterbacks. I mean, a bunch of teams that need him. So I feel like one of them gonna reach, but they need to pick him in the second. Don't pick him in the first. He's not gonna play.
So I'm going to give the Raiders need some defensive back help. So I'm going to give them by ESPN. Now I'm pulling from the ESPN rankings when I'm because I know about some of these players. I don't know about some of these players. So I'm gonna take ESPN's word for it, and I'm going to give them I'm trying to say his name, Quinion Mitchell. He's the highest rated quarterback. I think this is Mel Kiper's board. So, yeah. So, I'm giving them some cornerback help because they need it. The Saints, they also need a quarterback because are you really serious about Derek Carr? But no, but they also need some offensive line help as well. So, I'm giving them my guy, Olu Fashanu. Yeah, before J.C. Latham and Talise Fuaga, I put him above that. Yes, my Penn State, I got a little bit of Penn State bias, okay? Just be glad I didn't put him in the top 10. 15, I'm giving the Colts Terrion Arnold, the second-rated corner, and like you said, Alabama's best corner. Hopefully he's not a flop. But like you said, the Colts pretty much kind of have their team together. They may want to add another lineman, maybe add a receiver. But at this point, honestly, if I were the Colts, I would probably try to trade back because I feel like they probably need a receiver because once again, this is an offensive league. If we see how many rules they've gone against the defense now. It's like, so having a quarterback and good wide receivers and a running back that can catch out of the backfield and a solid offensive line is honestly more important than really even having a good cornerback or a good safety or a good linebacker. Maybe the only thing that's probably as important is have a good defensive line. But yeah, other than that. But honestly, I think that's what the Colts should do with this pick: trade back and get like one of those receivers in the 20s, like a Donnie Mitchell or Brian Thomas Jr. I think I said his last name wrong, or even maybe even a Kenyon Coleman. Somebody trade. But if they stick at 15, I got them taking them Terrion Arnold. The Seahawks. I got them choosing Layatu Latu at 16. Think of the Legion of Boom. The Seahawks won their championship on that defensive identity, and people talk about the their cornerbacks, but what about the linebackers? The Malcolm Smiths, the Bobby Wagners, and they also had I believe they also had a good edge rusher in like Bruce Irvin, who was playing really good for them. So he just feels like Latu just sounds like a person who should be on the Seahawks. Like, doesn't it? Like, he just sounds like it. So, yeah, I got the Seahawks choosing him. Got the Jaguars beefing up that offensive line because you got to protect your franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. He's coming off an injury. Their offensive line wasn't that good. I think you could use some bolstering up there. So I'm going to give them J.C. Latham. And the Bengals, I got them doing the same thing, going offensive line. There's a lot of offensive linemen just going in my offensive draft, but once again, this is an offensive league. So offensive linemen, quarterbacks, wide receivers, that has been that's now becoming the norm. So I'm going to give them Talise Fuaga. Like you said, I don't care what kind of wide receiver is there. And honestly, the only wide receiver Bengals you need to be focused on getting is Justin Jefferson. That's the only receiver that you need to be focused on getting.
Facts.
The Rams, yeah, they can go offensive line, but you just lost your franchise player in Aaron Donald. Yeah, that is their franchise player. All right, I don't want to hear about anybody on the. I don't hear about no Cooper Kupp. No, nah. Your franchise player just retired on the defensive line for the defensive tackle. So I feel like y'all need to get another cornerstone defensive lineman, and that's why I'm giving y'all Jared Verse.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Out of Florida State, I'm giving y'all Jared Verse, and hopefully that could be your franchise player on the defensive end because you need to replace that. And rounding out my top 20, I got the Steelers reaching maybe a little bit. This may be, especially the way ESPN ranked him, it's reaching a little bit, but I think the Steelers need it because you just lost Deontay Johnson. You have a young quarterback. First of all, you have Russell Wilson. You also have a young quarterback waiting in the wings in Justin Fields. But first and foremost, you have Russell Wilson. He likes throwing the ball deep. I understand you got George Pickens, but why not let's get him another deep threat? Who do you think I got him picking though, KJ?
Do you have him picking Worthy?
Nope, I knew you. I was waiting for you. No, the other Texas receiver, Adonai Mitchell. I was more impressed with Adonai Mitchell than I was with Xavier Worthy. Watching a few Texas games, this man kept on getting open down the field. This man was
and George Pickens. Oh my God.
Yes, especially with the Steelers, track record of always being able to get the best out of their wide receiver. If they get an Adonai Mitchell, by his ranking, he's ranked like the 25th best player. So maybe he's a little bit of a reach. However, I believe the way the Steelers are able to get the best out of the wide receiver position, if you give him a talent like an Adonai Mitchell, we might even be saying he's the best wide receiver in this class. Based on, and now I know people are gonna start trying to burn my house down. How dare you say he's going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.? Listen, I'm just basing it off of situation. Comparatively speaking, we might be saying after this season, if Adonai Mitchell goes to the Steelers, and the Steelers do with Adonai Mitchell, that I believe that they can do, especially the way they've always gotten the best out of the wide receiver position. Hell, they were able to get some good years out of Chase Claypool.
Right.
So, how they always been able to get the best out of the wide receiver position. If they're able to get out of what I think they will be able to get out of Adonai Mitchell at the end of this year, we might be saying he's the best wide receiver out of this class. I mean, and that's comparatively speaking, to situation, because you got to look. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to the Cardinals. Not the best situation. I think I got Rome Odunze mocked going to to the Jets. No, that's a good situation. Never mind. We might be, but still, I do believe in the talent of Adonai Mitchell. But yeah, that's my 11 through 20.
I have a quick thing. So I was hearing earlier in the week that the Bears could trade up and get Marvin Harrison as well as get Caleb Williams. That'd be disgusting. They would have to move heaven and earth, but boy, could you imagine?
Well, think about it. I mean, I wouldn't mind them trading. Nah, we can't. You know, it would have been perfect if we would have kept Sam Howell. I'm still a little bit mad about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still a little bit mad about that. That's what makes me kind of untrustworthy about this ownership and this GM and all this new regime. Like, y'all looking very Dan Snyderish to me, you know, because that's the trading Sam Howell for I understand, very talented, but kind of flawed quarterback. Looking very, very Dan Snyderish to me. That's all that is. Just saying. But yeah, if we would have kept Sam Howell, and then it would have been the perfect. Be like, hey Bears, you want the second pick to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? Give us your pick. Give us your pick this year, next year. Like, we could have gotten a lot of draft picks out of that. Because honestly, like, I just believe that Sam Howell still had something to prove, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is my 11 through 20. Next week, we're going to finish out the first round. No, we're not going to do the second round, third round. We're only going to mock the first round. Anyways, that's all people care about anyway. So, but yeah, just can't wait. Like, I just can't believe I did. Like, I really went offense heavy, but you know, that's the way the NFL is going. It's an offensive league, definitely an offensive league. But let's skip back over to basketball. KJ, let's skip back over to basketball and talk about the biggest news coming out of basketball, and that's Bronny James has declared for the NBA draft. He also put his name in the transfer portal too. So, I'm like, what's going on here? But how do you feel about that, KJ?
Man, look, they saying it's a historically bad draft class. So I get why they're trying to usurp that and use that to their benefit to get Bronny drafted. Because nobody thinks he's going to be going in the first round. He only averaged like 4 points. They say he's an elite level defender. Okay, all right, that's good. That's beneficial for the NBA. That's how you stay in the NBA, is by playing defense. So I could see him being drafted in the second round. So, I mean, that's an extra year he got to be with LeBron. So I think LeBron got what? 5 years left? Nah, LeBron probably got like 2 more, maybe 3 this year. I love it. I mean, at first, I thought he was gonna go to the transfer portal and go to somewhere, but then I was like, you know what? If Bronny went to like Duke or Ohio State, like his daddy, like I'm gonna hate him. So I'm cool with him coming out and just foregoing college altogether. You're not going to North Carolina, just get out. But yeah, I mean, I'm baffled by that. But hey, I'm with it because eventually I want to see him play with LeBron. So whatever. It's giving me. This is my last point. It's giving me like the little, like the international vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, how international players be playing real young and they just play forever and then they develop into this great basketball player. I mean, I feel like that's what he's giving a little bit of that too.
Like sometimes you'll have these, like I do agree. Like sometimes you have these international players that like, they only average like 5 points a game and like 2 rebounds and like an assist, and then all of a sudden in the NBA they just blossom into this like, what in the world happened? Like, How did you go from averaging like 5 points to now you're averaging 25? Like we know you have this in you. However, I don't know. Now people are saying, Bronny's only gonna get drafted because his dad's LeBron James. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Nobody
I mean,
that one.
well, duh. I'm like, yes, that is the truth. I mean, he would honestly. He wouldn't be looked to as highly in the draft. Honestly, he wouldn't be getting any coverage if he wasn't LeBron James' son. And and I believe first of all, I don't think he's going to transfer out of USC. I think he's going to go ahead and enter the draft. I think he's going to go ahead and I think Bronny James will be drafted like in the second round somewhere. And like you said, it is a weak draft. And like, wow, both our teams are taking hard. I'm mad that my Wizards are now want to like tank when it's like a historically weak draft. Like, thank you. Now y'all want to tank? Where last year we had Victor Wembanyama, and y'all got to tank for Wemby, but now you want to tank for this class? It's okay. I'm not too mad. But yeah. Wherever Bronny James gets drafted, because I think this might be LeBron's last year with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Because depending on who Bronny gets drafted to, LeBron is going there. He's going there. He's going to play with his son. The only way I see LeBron staying in LA is if the Lakers choose Bronny in the second round. That's the only way I see that happen. And I do think Bronny is getting drafted because teams know, hey, if we draft Bronny, we getting LeBron,
right?
For maybe 2 years, but still, they like, we'll take 2 years of LeBron, but I don't know. I just don't know how good Bronny James is. I really did not, pay attention to college basketball. Just by his stats, he does not look that impressive. But who knows? Maybe if he goes to a team and then LeBron goes there with him, and maybe LeBron's able to get the best out of his. I just thought about something.
Then LeBron, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's such a good coach. He's gonna go out and coach. He's gonna coach for the team that he owns in Vegas."
I just thought of something. What if LeBron gets his son? What if LeBron gets his son traded? Like he plays a team, like because LeBron's still trying to win another championship. So what? What if he trades his son? Oh, that would be hilarious. I'm sorry. Like, just imagine like the talks at the family table. Like, Dad, why'd you trade me?
Yeah.
Like, son, you weren't getting it done.
I only
Yeah,
wanted to play with you. That's it.
yeah. I can't win a championship with you, but we cool though.
You're not Bryce.
But yeah.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, what he might do is LeBron might stay in the league long enough so his other son comes in, so he can play.
Yeah.
So he can play with Bronny and Bryce. So it could be.
I'm telling you, 5 years, bro. Because LeBron's still averaging 27. Come on, man, or 25.
I mean, my question is, what grade is Bryce James in? I know he's in high school, but
like the 10th, 11th. I think he's about to be a senior or 11th grade.
Okay. So that's probably like in the next.
Years.
Yeah, that's probably like. Yeah, that's probably like in the next 2-3 years. So we'll. Yeah, probably the next 3 years they'll. It might happen. It might happen.
Can play for another 3 years. That man gonna play with both his kids. That's crazy.
Well, he's gonna try. You know that's what he wants. We know that's LeBron's ultimate goal. Because right now, honestly, and I've said this on the podcast that LeBron's ultimate goal is to play with his son. I said it's to play with Bronny. Now it's like it's basically a foregone conclusion unless injury. Knock on wood. But I think he wants to play. I think his dream is to play with both his sons. Like that's his main goal right now. I don't really think his main goal really is championships or all NBA teams. Like because honestly, at this point, what else does LeBron have left to prove? Like really,
his claim to fame. I mean, yeah, he has the most points in NBA history and still going, which is crazy to say. But his claim to fame is his longevity. Yeah, he's dominant in all of this. He can rebound, he can pass, he can do anything. He can do everything. He's smart as hell. But what better way to solidify your greatest asset, which is availability and longevity, than to not only play at a high level, not only win multiple championships, not only win multiple All-Stars, All-NBAs, and scoring titles, defensive titles. Come on, man, anything you can think about, he won.
True.
You've done that for so good for so long that you play with your second oldest son. Y'all could look. If that happens, LeBron don't have to win another title. Y'all can't say nothing about that man that he's not the GOAT because Jordan could never. Even if his son was good.
I mean, at this point, don't he have a daughter? He probably play till his daughter gets to the WNBA. Who knows?
That's crazy. If all his kids go play professionally,
and he's still in there.
Yeah, he's still in there, right?
LeBron like James, I'm never stopping. I'm going to 100K points. Ain't nobody breaking this record. Nobody. No, but
not the NBA, the NBL, the National Basketball.
LeBron. I know. But let's go ahead and go to our little fun keep it 10 toes topic of the week. They're still dealing with basketball, but better New York Knick, Carmelo Anthony or Jalen Brunson? Since this was your question, KJ, you answer it first.
I've just been hearing this talk all around places where people are saying that, first of all, they're even having this conversation, which is blasphemous to me. But they're saying that Jalen Brunson might be a better Knick than Melo. First of all, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson been there about as long as Carmelo was with the Knicks.
No, Jalen Brunson only been there for
No,
like 2 seasons.
2 seasons. Yeah, Melo was with them for a whole contract. And I get it. Jalen Brunson is he's a hometown guy. His dad is in the front office. He's put the Knicks in the playoffs. He's scoring all these points. I think he had like back-to-back. I think he just had like back-to-back 40-point games. He's great. He's amazing. Yeah. But I ain't never seen Jalen Brunson score 56 on all straight jumpers. We're not calling him Hoodie Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fire, but he doesn't have these accolades, bro. He's never won a scoring title.
True.
How many All-Stars have you had? Like, to say that he's a better Knick than Carmelo Anthony is really, really, really crazy. Because, I mean, Carmelo Anthony was giving LeBron the business. I'm pretty sure if LeBron played the Knicks, LeBron would be the one doing the bending. Shout out to Janet Jackson. But yeah, man, that question is just so crazy to me. Like, come on, man, Carmelo Anthony, get it out. That must be some like old head, new people type stuff. I don't know.
I mean, we know it's the nature of sports nowadays. Everybody, it's recency bias, especially nowadays with social media, the advent of social media, and the advent of, everybody's always quick to react now. Now everybody's and people can easily forget things just like that. Like, people easily forget that just about 2-3 years ago, the Rams won Los Angeles Rams won a Super Bowl. And you're like, wow, that did happen. Like, yes. And it didn't happen very much. It happened pretty recently. It didn't just, it's so, I know they won in 2022. Either way, or 2020, whatever. Either way. So, yeah. But it's always the recency bias, because Jalen Brunson is, don't get me wrong, Jalen Brunson, I know I made fun of the trade when it happened, and he completely proved me 100% wrong, because he's playing like an all-NBA level player. And I'm going to give him that. But do y'all remember? It's like there has been nothing but like, because I've noticed this the last few years when it comes to basketball discourse. Some players now are just getting nothing but what's the term? Come on, KJ, help me out. What's the term?
Clout.
Not clout. Disrespected. All right, disrespected. A lot of these players are getting disrespected. Slandered.
Slandered is a great word.
Melo. The main two I've seen is Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson.
They've been slandering AI?
Those are some of those ones that I've been seeing. And I'm like, as a guy who grew up watching these players, I started watching basketball. I started getting heavy into it to like when I started hitting my double digits when I was like 10, 11, like 12. So, of course, I didn't really watch Michael Jordan play and all that, like in his prime and all that. All right. I saw Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
Right. I seen that debauchery.
Yeah. That's why if yes, that's why a little bit of hate in my heart does go out to MJ, but really MJ the GM for. But anyway, off that. But yeah, these are two players that I've watched. I grew up watching play. Like Melo, like I'm talking about. This guy was giving everybody buckets.
Kobe
To LeBron, to Kobe.
Kobe said that Melo was the hardest person to guard in the NBA.
Well, no, he's
still playing, by the way.
Well, actually, he said his two most toughest to guard were both Melo and T-Mac.
Yeah.
But Melo was giving Kobe buckets. Kobe giving him buckets, and y'all just forgot all about that. The same guy who once again scored 16 points and like no assist, no steal, like just straight buckets. Now I understand that he never was the greatest defender in the world. I understand that he never was the greatest playmaker in the world. I understand that, but like just to say like the utmost just disrespect to Melo, I'm like, yo, like who's raising y'all kids up on basketball? Like, I understand if you want to say Jokic is the greatest 15 ever and the greatest Denver Nugget of all time. I understand that. I'll give that to you. Whatever. But though I think Denver gave 15 to Jokic just to spite Carmelo Anthony. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's another thing to just say Jalen Brunson is good. He's really good. Like I said, all NBA level performer. But Melo, come on, man. Better than Melo? I don't know about that. I just don't know about that. Especially because, come on, man. Especially because now because even when Melo was in his prime, the game wasn't as soft as it is right now, where everything is now like. But anyway. It's okay. It's all right, you know. Y'all can have your Melo disrespect. Y'all can have it. Y'all can go ahead. Not really, but you know.
Right, because I ain't letting you have it. I ain't standing for it.
Come on, Melo.
I won't get shit for it.
Man,
you couldn't pay me to disrespect Melo.
Exactly. But our last topic of the day is a little bit on a somber note. Maybe, well, this person wasn't the best person in the world, but I don't want to slander the dead. That's, But OJ Simpson has passed away. I think just today at the age of 76. It is sad that we're thinking when OJ Simpson's name is brought up, we think of car chase. We think of he did do it. He didn't do it. We think of murder, and we don't think of one of the greatest running backs in NFL history. We don't think about the guy who rushed for 2,000 yards, I believe, in like a 12-game season. We don't think about or 14-game season. Either way, we don't think about the guy that was one of the most dominant running backs in the 70s, where the running back position was actually the most important position in football. So you can say for that time, OJ Simpson was probably the most important player, because if he was once again probably the best player at the most important position in that time, he probably was the most important. You could probably make the argument that he was the most important player during his era. Because first of all, what quarterback was handing him off the ball? But yeah, we're not going to be talking about that. What people are going to first think of OJ, and there are a lot of people going to have a lot of mixed feelings about it. they're going to talk once again, and mainly it's because he killed her, he got away with it, Of course, black people are celebrating the Chiefs because the first black man that finally got it off, finally beat the system. But yeah, that's what's going to get talked about, and that's on him, and that's on him. You know, we wish especially those who are football fans in the 70s, they wish they could talk about OJ as just a football player. Once again, one of the greatest running backs of all time, but we're not going to. But still, RIP to you. I pray for his family, and my condolences to his family. And I just pray for them for healing at this time. But KJ, how did you feel?
I was shocked. I was shocked for sure. It is sad that he lost his battle with cancer and everything like that. But I mean, I was born in '94. I was born during the OJ trial, so I always thought that was like a cool thing to say. So, I mean, it's definitely sad. He lost his battle to cancer, but at the same time, he gave us some of the greatest. I ain't gonna say some of the greatest, but he gave us some of the most iconic things in the '90s. Like, what are we talking about? We talking about if the glove ain't fit, you must have quit. We talking about the gloves. We talking about the White Broncos, man. Like, that was a crazy time. It was really a polarizing time in America for sure. But again, yeah, we instead of talking about his greatest accomplishments in the football world.
I think he was a Heisman Trophy winner too.
Yeah, in his football career, we're talking about his personal life, but R.I.P. to OJ. R.I.P. to G.
The juice is loose. Okay, sorry, gotta get that one. Gotta get that one. But yes, definitely R.I.P. OJ. And once again, the only thing you can hope for though is that, but he still did it. I believe he did. He still ended up going to jail. Still did his time, and I think he spent the rest of his life kind of just staying under the radar. So hopefully he had. It's kind of crazy. Like I just want to mention this, because it just came into my head talking about OJ, and there are going to be people that do not know him from a can of paper that still like I can't forgive OJ for what he done, for what he did. Even though he did eventually pay his debt to society, and it looked like he kind of reformed himself, but people still are not going to forgive him, even though, because some people believe that people are unable to receive redemption, and I'm a person that's stupid. But anyway, yeah, once again, it's still going to be sad that people want to just think about the white Bronco, the glove, and all that, and not the football player. But hopefully, I believe for the rest of his life he did redeem himself. So, hopefully, he can rest in peace. And once again, prayers to his family and loved ones. But we're gonna end this podcast like we always do, with our last second shout outs. So, KJ, who in the sports world do you have to shout out?
I'm gonna shout out, but the other Isaiah Thomas, because he just got a
what? Not the Pistons.
Not the Pistons, Isaiah Thomas. He's one of the GOATs. But Isaiah Thomas just signed a contract with the Suns for the rest of the year. He got 2 10-day contracts earlier this season, and now they just signed him for the rest of the year. So hopefully we see that man on the court.
Definitely great. Yeah, man. Like, it's kind of sad. Like we thought IT's career was over, but now it's like And you know what? You know another short basketball player that needs to get back in the league. I still think he may got one run in him. Nate Robertson.
Hey, hold on though. Pause. They said Nate Robinson need a kidney. Y'all listen.
Oh, he need a kidney?
Yeah. Hey, if y'all listening and y'all want to help out Nate Robinson, please find a way to give him your kidney if it works. We like him. We want Nate Robinson to live for a long time, okay?
Definitely. But my shout out goes to Don Staley, the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecock women, the national championships in women's college basketball. Once again, this was her third title, which I think it moves her into top 5 of coaches. I think it was like 6. Either way. And the thing is, she ain't done yet. Like I said, she won this with like a lot of her players being freshmen. So you got about she gonna keep on this. They might repeat. I don't know if they're gonna go undefeated again, but they have a strong chance of repeating because the players that they had out there, I believe a lot of them coming back. I think all but one or two. Either way, a lot of them are coming back with the championship pedigree now. And you don't know what kind of confidence that does with it. So, yeah, shout out to Don Staley. This was one of the greatest coaching jobs ever. You get a whole new team and still not only able to win the championship, but go undefeated. That's impressive. So, yeah, shout out to her. But that's all the time we have, folks. I am MC Ron with his co-host.
It's Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on the podcast and talk your sports stuff with the best in the business, that is me and my co-host KJ, all you have to do is one of two things. Either send an email to keeping it 10 toes down at gmail.com. That is keeping it 10 toes down at gmail.com. Or send us a direct message on Instagram. That is at keeping it 10 toes. That is at keeping it 10 toes. Now, sir, I know, you're still looking for that girlfriend. Well, guess what, man? There's a girl that that works at a Charlie's Cheesesteaks. Yeah, once again, I'm trying to get a sponsorship here. But yeah, she's a fan of sports, man. And guess what? If you just so happen to get on this podcast, because she so happens to be a fan of this podcast, and guess what? If she hears you on this podcast, guess what? She's going to be a fan of you. I'm trying to listen, man. We're trying to get you a date, and I'm trying to get a sponsorship. All right. Next week might be Wingstop. Who knows? Oh man, but also NBA playoffs are just right around the corner, baby. Right around the corner.
Well, let's go, LeBron.
They're going into play-in, but you all have a great night.
The sun is under my feet and I come in peace to compete. I don't run if you athlete. My statistics go up in weeks and I go visit the nearest creek and I get busy. Yo, mini MC, really ballistic. Anybody can see any assistance. Everybody to see some persistence. Recognize I be really too vicious. The permanent beast and the demolition. Breaking up the street. Better partition. Better dot your T. Hannibal mention. How all you see. Putting my dick in the rap industry. Everybody bitching. Getting mad at me. Recognize Kendrick in a battery. And I'm charged up in a catastrophe. It's charged up in audacity. Y'all fucks never got hassle.